Well, to speak now to Kamel Hawwash, he is the chair of the Palestine Solidarity Campaign in the United Kingdom and joins me now live from Birmingham. Kamel, good to have you here with us on TRT World. Certainly a lot to unpack here. Let me begin by asking you about the prisoner deal. How likely do you think is it for it to materialize?
Well, I think that there seem to be serious moves towards that. The problem is Hamas have declared what they would are able to do. Israel is refusing everything and indeed continuing to shell Gaza, resulting in the death of some of these hostages. We need an immediate ceasefire. Talk about hostages can then start, and we need to also have supplies of food and medicine and water. Your report is heartbreaking that people who lived proudly before now in their own homes and they fended for themselves can't even find water to drink or food to consume. So although efforts are underway to talk about a prisoner swap deal, the reality is we need an end to the killing of Palestinians, which is, I've just heard from that a friend of mine has lost just today 40 members of his family. That's what we're talking about, human beings being slaughtered by a state that is certainly a terrorist state.
And experts would say that the world, mainly the Western world, is totally silent about what's happening in Gaza right now. I want to focus on the bombing of hospitals here. I believe it seems to me that Al-Shifa Hospital, for example, has become the face of this conflict. Now, Israel says, without providing any evidence, that Hamas is using hospitals as its base, even though it has not provided any evidence for that. In fact, independent human rights organizations such as Human Rights Watch has refuted Israel's claims that Hamas is using hospitals for its military activities, for example, Al-Shifa Hospital. But then you have top diplomats, American diplomat, for example, Antony Blinken is speaking in Jordan, corroborating whatever Israel is saying, that Israel is using hospitals and schools, that Hamas is using hospital and schools as its base. So to what extent do you think responsibility can be attributed to countries such as the United States for what Israel is doing in Gaza?
Well, first of all, Israel is a master liar. Let's remember, it was even built on the lie that Palestine was a land without a people, for a people without a land. That was the starting lie. They used terror to commit massacres. They begin to be smaller in scale to what we're seeing now. You know, buildings that have been bombed that have had 200, 300 people in them. So, first of all, Israel lies. We know that on day one, Benjamin Netanyahu told the American president that he had seen photographs of 40 decapitated babies. That has been proven to be an absolute lie. The problem is, the American president regurgitated that lie to the world, and it has stuck. But his office had to apologize for that. So Blinken himself should be very careful about believing anything that Israel says, because it is a master liar. The talking points it sends around the world about human shields or Palestinians being human shields for the factions again are untrue, because what they will not tell you is that Gaza is the most densely populated place on earth, and therefore for any fighters not to be in and amongst civilians is just simply impossible. So the lies continue, and they have resulted in the committal of crimes of unbelievable proportion against the Palestinians, simply because Israel lies, and the American president in particular and his Secretary of State regurgitate these lies. I'll remind you also that Biden even repeated the Israeli talking point about the numbers that have been killed in Gaza, and you couldn't rely on the sources. Everyone has confirmed that the sources from the Ministry of Health were accurate. In fact, they are underestimates, the 11,000 plus that have died already, that have been killed, because there are so many bodies under the rubble that are rotting away. And they've even talked about dogs chewing away at children's bodies, because even the dogs are hungry.
It's truly heartbreaking. Kamel Hawwash, thank you very much for talking to us here on TRT World. Really appreciate you taking out the time.